So I don't have much to update. This was a lazy week. I think I'm getting acclimatized to the new ecology. Definitely we can speak about ecology now. Tremendous tremendous amount of new life forms, both mutants, hybrids, and purely synthetics. And I'm sure that I hope that, well, at least my plan is that this weekend to dedicate this weekend to a lot of much needed microscopy exercises, and to actually record as much as possible, of course within my limitations, videos of the new life forms, both of the ones from the open dioramas, which are very interesting, and also the aquariums that what you've already seen, but almost 2 weeks passed, so maybe there are now more even more things to see. And also the new aquariums that we have created, the terrariums that are very interesting in my opinion. And of course we still have actually the oil aquarium, which is actually very old, and it's 6 weeks and we didn't actually check it, and it will be very, very interesting to see what's inside. According to my estimation, it should contain mostly synthetic life forms, but let's see. It's different from the water aquariums by the fact that it contains a very large amount of oils and also beeswax, melted beeswax, and this will be very interesting. And it's also, again, it's had 6 weeks to actually start its own ecology with of course parallel evolution and very interesting phenomena. And I also, my intention also for this weekend is to actually use the new, it's not new, but the additional transformer that my mother brought me maybe a week ago. It's 12 volts transformer, which is nice. It's not, 12 volts is not that, it's not very, it's not a lot, but it's more than it's more than the usual transformers. It's not as strong as the strongest that I have, which is about 30 volts, but 12 is also pretty strong DC. In the scale of home transformers, and it should be very interesting to see what we can do with that. Of course, as we've already seen in this channel, and also from my experience, each transformer has its usages. They are all useful. Even the 1 volt is useful, and the 12 and 5 and 3 and 30. You need to match the correct transformer to the correct mixture, and also, of course, to what you actually want to produce. Maybe, we will actually, I don't know, it's not top priority, but maybe we will continue the experimentation with regards to rings, actually. It's very interesting, of course, from material perspective, but as I've said many times, my goal is not to be the richest prisoner in Israel. My goal is to be free. And this, nothing that I will produce will actually help me be free. My freedom, my rescue from this Nazi prison will only... is not related to anything that I will do myself, just things that will be done by external powers, like foreign powers. And again, they should only want to, the main objective, the main requirement is from them not to be especially strong, but their main requirement is the will to live, actually, and that their will to live should be stronger than their ego, which presumably it's not trivial in the case of Homo sapienses. But let's not reiterate forever what we've already said many times. So this is, the agenda for this weekend, to conduct as much as possible microscopic work, and to watch. We have many things that we need to watch. We will certainly, we can say that almost with 100% certainty that we will meet a great amount of new life forms, both mutated biological life forms, hybrids, and purely synthetic ones. And hopefully Of course, we will. Maybe we will. Um, I mean, enlarge our knowledge of the various Nero's spaceships, like the various. We've seen so many already. I mean, like we can categorize the Neros already to many like kinds, and maybe I should even do it for the first time because I haven't done it yet. But maybe we should start categorization. Of course, mostly I mean with regards to size, but also to width and strength, and of course like composure and other parameters. As you know, I'm hell bent on like making them bigger and bigger, and because I want the bigger ones. I mean, also of course the smaller ones are also important. And let's see if we can actually make advancement in this front, and maybe using more knowledge that I have with regards to the symbolic language. Now, some people say, why it's so important to you to actually make them bigger? They are already, as you've said yourself, they are already pretty big. As you've said yourself, the biggest ones, and they are not rare. You have tons of them. Like you have millions of the bigger ones, and the bigger ones. It's a fact. We have. In the jars we have already many millions of the bigger ones, and the bigger ones are actually close to being non-microscopic. They are still microscopic, but they are pretty large in the microscopic scale. As I said, they are less than an order of magnitude below what would have been non-microscopic. Or other words, 4 times or 5 times like the biggest one that we've seen, and they are not very rare. As I said, we have millions of the bigger ones, and only 4 or 5 times larger than that would be something that you can see with your own eyes. So some people say, so why is it even important? Okay, so they are pretty big already. So now if you want like more, like for example, if you are want more like work force, you should work on their ecology, supply them with better ecologies. And actually I'm trying to do it by giving them more materials and diversifying the aquariums, as you see yourself, and the terrariums, and so and let them multiply. It's more important that you have many, and you do have more and more, than actually create like bigger ones. Why is it so important to have the bigger ones? And this is also true if we just want to actually evaluate it from the perspective of superconductors. Superconductors are extremely valuable, both from Homo sapiens perspective, but also from the construction perspective of my own wishes and requirements. But who said that the superconductors should be visible with your own eyes, like room temperature superconductors? Even the current size of the Neros, assuming, and that's my assumption now, that they are actually room temperature superconductors, make them bona fide miracle material and extremely valuable. Even if they were much smaller than they are, and they were bona fide room temperature superconductors, they would still have been, even if they didn't have any of the incredible characteristics that we know that they have. Even just if they were dead matter without any any property at all, besides the fact that it's room temperature superconductors, and it was much more, and they were much smaller than they are. Even if you had only, they come in all sizes, but let's say that you have only the smaller ones, they would have still been incredibly valuable, because room temperature superconductors, even if they are very, very tiny, they are still valuable. But I would say that my wish is not to hoard Neros dead matter, because they are not dead matter. It's not. I don't need them in order to sell them, because I'm not going to sell them, because it's impossible to sell them, and as I've said, I'm a slave. It's not on the table at all. I need to be rescued from the Nazi prison. So it's stupid to. It's actually it's like looking at humans and evaluating their value, according to what can you do with the meat, how many animals you can feed with the meats that that is on the bone of a person. It's really stupid. It makes much more sense to actually to from my perspective, to have an army of these creatures, and so I'll be able to do all sorts of things with them. And yes, if you have, in the army, you as I said, the smaller ones are also very valuable. It's not that I don't need the smaller ones, but it is it's still, I mean, it's very important for me, like, to see, I mean, how large they can get, and to actually, like, to go the biggest ones. I mean, like, I mean, again, in a navy that you have like the super carriers. I mean, still, I mean, the smaller boats also have their. And I know that you have like the metaphor of boats to your, like, I don't know, female agents or so. I don't care really. I stopped trying to decipher your stupidity as your metaphors because I really don't care. But no, I mean, from my point of view, I mean, the navy are the Neros, like the robots. And yes, I mean, we need the super carriers, we need the huge robots, but of course we also need the smaller ones. And yes, it is still very important, like, I mean, like, objective from my perspective, to make them as big as possible, and also to actually be able to see them with my own, like, with the naked eye. And said, and again, we are close to this. It's not something. It's not like fantasy or science fiction. We are. I wouldn't be surprised if even this weekend we will actually be able to detect and, like, to take photographs of Neros without microscope. We are close to this point. It's not like science fiction. We are already very, very close to this point. So yes, it's and the fact that, I mean, the presence of bigger one is valuable, not because, I mean, they're like, it's like more material to be sold as dead superconductors, but because the larger ones are much more productive, because they can, I mean, as you've seen with your own eyes, the larger ones can, like, I mean, they are more effective in, first of all, in, like, crushing, or, like, I mean, chopping or making shawarma of large life forms. But also, I mean, of course, they are better at doing everything else that the Neros are doing, like building, or like, you know, doing the landscaping and construction, fixing, and also fighting, of course, like germs and microbes and things like that. So this will be my agenda for this the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have a very interesting weekend, and I'm sure that we will. So stay tuned for more action. I understand that, I mean, you also enjoy like the climate change, that is, I mean, you know, ionization and the galvanization that are getting more, like, I would say, noticeable worldwide. So yeah, I mean, more of that is coming, and I mean, changing this cannot be done using mouses and tongues, but we've already, I mean, I don't feel the need to currently reiterate this issue. I mean, you started, I mean, you started the Jeff Wayne, your own version of Jeff Wayne War of the Worlds, and now, I mean, that's the situation. I mean, and I've said it. One thing that I'll say, even though I've already said it, but I will say again. You know very well that my wish for a long time, and it's my greatest wish, is that me and my daughters, and also their mother, of course, they need their mother, will immigrate to China, to Hong Kong. But it's not, if not Hong Kong, it's not, I mean, could be another place in China. But, and my hope that, I mean, the people of China, and I'm not only hoping that it's my, like, my assumption is that they will understand from the Israeli, like, case, that what is expected from them is not to explain the horrors, but to prevent the horrors. Horrors should not be, I mean, the tortures and the horrors should be prevented, not be explained. And so that will be all for now.